the disagreement?
Um, I don't feel even if black men reach the certain level that that we should aspire to reach, I don't think the black women will follow us. I feel like 80% of them will still shit on us and leave us
Well,
hanging.
why? First of all, you said I feel twice. See any issue with that?
No.
That's a problem. As a man, you shouldn't worry about how you feel. It's about what we think and what we do. It's one of the things we talk about women all the time. They always say, I feel, I feel, I feel. So what makes black women biologically different than any other group of women?
Biologically,
Yes.
Personally, I like Kevin Samuels and the fact that he changed the narrative when it came to relationships, especially for black people. But a lot of this was also masked because I realized that the men, just like the diaspora wars right now, it's the same group of men that have moved from the relationship space to the Tariq Nasheed space. It's pretty much the same kind of cohort of men. They're the Manosphere guys, right? It's just these are forever men. These are men that are always gonna complain about life. They're always gonna complain about anything, and they will look for the next thing to be part of. They are followers, and the ones that didn't get the results in the red pill space are fueling and channeling the diaspora wars because now they've replaced women with Africans. It's the same thing, and the narratives are different. With the women, it's submission for relationships. With the Africans, it's submission for existence in America, that you have to go through them. So it's the same concept, two different dimensions. The red pill approach shit on women, barely said anything about men, except for Kevin. Kevin always did point out men, but didn't say much about men. And then they still expected to have relationships with the same women. Like, I don't know anything out there where one side can be so negative towards the other and expect the other person or side to come together. It just doesn't work that way. Once you choose that side, you've forever broken off any potential for anything to happen. Because what the goal of all of this is to improve women behavior in relationships. The goal of the FBA group is to improve blood outcomes in America with the idea that foreigners are taking the opportunities, right? Kind of the same space if you really look at it at a high level. But the women, after what, how many years now, 8 years, where it really became a trend, they haven't improved much. They still are carrying kids out of wedlock. They are still bossy when they have money. They still have high dating standards, even if they don't qualify for it. These things are never going to change. No matter how much you bitch about it on the internet, those outcomes were not going to be there. So the men have become even more lonelier. The women are just playing the field whenever they can, right? And the relationship outcomes have not improved. So was this all? I mean, is this a wasted 8 to 10 years? Because that is a whole kind of a prime generation, the prime of a generation that is just gone kaput, where these men are now jobless due to the job market. The women now, a lot of them now have become jobless due to federal layoffs. And where they've come together is the diaspora wars, which is the next frontier. It's safe to say, even though that I have in the past done these reactions, made a few bucks off of it, and became kind of a fan really of Kevin Samuels. Who would believe, right? That Nana would be a fan of this guy. That when I dug deeper over the years, and I never followed anything he said. I was married through the whole time that he was coming up. I was already married, and I based my marriage based on what my parents taught me and how my parents' marriage was. This is how Africans marry. We have a structure that already works. So there was no need for me to go on the internet to learn how to be married. I was just there for the entertainment. And there's this discussion of how sometimes when you consume certain content, you start to become a believer in your own bullshit. Because Kevin didn't get married, probably because of the things that he got exposed to through his own ideologies. MTR, another guy that I like, that I watch a lot, not married, probably never will. Not that he's not capable of, he's got the income to do it, but he doesn't trust the other side. When you've done so much of this, you tend not to trust the other side. And if without that trust, there cannot really be a marriage. Um, Let me hit on my own brother here, Chisha from Zambia, Chisha Z, also a big creator that does red pill content. He's married, but notice how he's been married. He married a woman from his country, from Zambia, S- and he that is his African side overshadowing the content that he believes in. So if you put yourself so much into internet-based ideologies, you will start believing them, and it's going to affect how you relate to women, how you relate to other men and people, and even how you conduct or structure your life. What do I think the positives are in the red pill movement? I like its emphasis on image, how Kevin talked a lot about image, um talked about, and even how he dressed for his live streams. He took it seriously. He was always punctual at his live streams. So I like that part of what the red pill did. It's like it teaches you, for the guys that didn't have dads in their life, it's a great way to have an exposure to what a man is supposed to be. And that's a lot of people in the US, right? It transcends race. There's a lot of men that are not in their children's lives in America. So they become a very good audience for this kind of content.
There is no difference,
Then why
not
would they
from a
not respond
biological
to?
perspective.
Then why would they not respond to the same evolutionary biology type things?
From what I've seen from anecdotal experience, uh, it's like it's a temporary it's a temporary
What part of the country do you
reaction.
live in?
I'm in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
So why does the divorce rate drop dramatically for black couples as well over an income of $250,000?
I didn't know that.
Maybe because you're not part of that group. See, if you're going to say something like that, I'm going to challenge it. Because basically what you're putting
For
out
sure.
here is you don't feel black women are going to, okay, I'll go with that. But why? Based upon what?
It's what I've seen my entire life.
They're
Black
28
women
years
have been
old.
my enemy my entire life.
They've been your what?
My enemy.
What do you mean your enemy?
I don't know how like young men like this would choose certain strong words, but this has to come from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, how have a group of women that look like you been your enemy your entire life? Again, you can translate these same talking points to how Africans and black immigrants from the Caribbean are now being seen as enemies by this same particular group. It's usually the guys that are not doing well. You know, he referenced a stat for an income range that he could only dream of, that is not even around. You got to be in that group to understand how, like, you don't know how money works at that level. So it shouldn't even be part of your talking point. You're not in that class. So these were some of the fundamental moments that I would agree with Kevin on, right? But I just also feel that it created like the whole idea of the red pill was formed based on hating the other gender that you're supposed to conduct that same relationship with, which ends up giving you really no outcomes because there's no trust between the two sides. And you cannot build any relationship without trust. And so if I relate this to what is happening with diaspora wars, the Africans like myself and a few other guys on TikTok have also started reacting to some of these things, even though we kind of ignored it in the beginning. We never really cared about it, right? This is us saying openly that there's no trust between the two sides. And we're doubling down on that aspect so that there is no future state. Because here's the thing, when these groups move on from one phase to a new movement, a lot of them try to come back the same way they all moved towards Pan-Africanism when it was cool. They like to circle back to what feels good. And I want us to, to make this clear that these relationships that have been broken should never be repaired. It shouldn't be repaired. It should stay like this because when these trusts are broken, you just can't trust the other person, right? So then you're better off just staying apart, which is why I'm on record for saying that it's in every African's interest to build their own communities or sub-communities like the Somalis did in Minneapolis, in any little town that you congregate here in America. The Constitution allows you to do that. So you should be able to do that. If you have a few guys that want to be in law enforcement, go sign up. You want to be in the military, go sign up. You want to start a grocery store for your community, start one. I've seen Ghanaians do it, Nigerians do it. Help the local police force police your communities because you understand your communities better. It's actually better for your communities. And kind of be a small nation within a nation, still under the laws of the United States of America. It's everybody does it. Like the Poles do it in Chicago. There's a Polish community on the north side of Chicago. The Jews in New York, right? And in New Jersey around Hoboken, very heavily Jewish. The Latinos, the Cubanos in Miami. That's what you should become. The model is there. The Indians in North Texas. These are little subgroups that you're supposed to do so that these two groups are never in contact with each other. And it's not prejudice. It's safer for you. It's good for you. And these are the things that will die down these same narratives, because when you're not in the same communities, you can't, you won't have these issues.
Whether it's me, whether it's people that I know or people that I'm even related to, if there are strides towards success that are being made, there's an active effort to get in the way of the progress of what it is that we're doing. Like, honestly, like,
What does that mean, though? You come in and say black women have been my enemy. You're gonna have to give me a specific.
okay,
I'm letting you go, man. I'm
I
trying to.
recently dated a woman who was pursuing a dual doctorate degree in medicine and in chemistry.
I'm a
And
PhD.
throughout the entire relationship, uh, the only time that we didn't have an argument or we didn't have any kind of ridiculous back and forth is when we were having sex. You know what I'm saying? Like, once the orgasm was out the window.
How old are you?
28.
And,
I've known her for 8 years, dated her for 1.
and you dated her to what end? What was the intended outcome? To what end? Yeah, dating has a purpose.
I was interested in marrying her.
You dated her with
sure.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a musician and an Uber driver.
There you have it.
What?
I know.
Are you serious? Are you
You see the disbalance? You're a musician, that is bullshit, unemployed. And you're an Uber driver. That's gig. I mean, Uber was not really set up to be a job. It was just something that you just did on the side, or, like some people did it for fun when it started. And you're trying to date up. You're trying to date a woman that is a PhD or pursuing a PhD. Like, you're intellectually not in sync. You're trying to shoot for something you don't qualify for. Even not just at the income level, you don't, right? So these were the aspects of truth and realization that people like Kevin actually gave to young men, because he didn't see anything wrong with it. For him to come on a YouTube stream or live stream on camera admitting this tells me that he thought he was in the right, but he isn't. There's nothing wrong with women pursuing higher education. I have a daughter. I don't want to sit at home for somebody to just come marry her. There's nothing wrong with women acquiring higher education. There's nothing wrong with women working in corporate America. It should not change or shape their femininity. A lot of the stuff that is happening here is based again on the distrust that exists between the men and the women. This is why the two sides just can't come together to make something work. In Africa, it works. A lot of the women, actually, there's more African women graduating college than their men. It's been like that since 1980 across most of Africa. There are women CEOs that are running Absa Bank in Zambia as we speak, and they're still married, been married 30 years. So it works there. Why doesn't that work here? Fundamentally, I think these men are broken. And again, these were the things that the red pill, especially on Kevin's side, he got the opportunity. Whenever he had that opportunity, he exposed it. And he told the men that, no, you were the problem. But on the other side, when he got the women, he went in on them, and it made these same men that he had talked about feel good about themselves. And you're going to feel good for that moment. The live stream is up, it's done, you're feeling good, but what are your outcomes? And that is that generation of men that have shifted into Tariq Nasheed. They are always looking for the next person up. Okay, I saw a young man, I don't remember his name. I think he's a black therapist. And he started a YouTube channel, I believe, earlier this year around January or February. He was hosted by Just Pearly Things, and I don't know his name, I don't know the brother's name, but he grew from 0 to 10,000 subscribers within a week after his appearance on dating shows as a therapist. That growth was because he bashed women. He bashed women, and his clips went viral. Then he went and started his YouTube channel, and just within about a week, he went up to 10,000 subscribers. I peeped at it a few weeks ago. Hasn't grown much since then, but he got that rush of the same men that move towards these ideologies. They will give you that first bump. I've tested it on this channel. When I do Tariq Nasheed videos, they'll comment the most. They'll give the most thumbs down to the same videos. And because they do that, the YouTube algorithm just picks it up and just pushes it even more than it's supposed to. Because normally your channel should generate about 10% of its subscriber base would view your videos. So in my case, 7,000 subs, if I get 700 views, it's in YouTube terms, it's considered that you're doing pretty well. It's okay. The loneliness that these men carry is what is driving a lot of this internet engagement and hate. And the YouTube algorithm figures that out, and it actually pushes it. I'm telling you this as somebody that does a lot of analytics.